All right, let's dive in. Today, we are tackling a really provocative idea, this concept that poverty isn't just about not having enough money, but that it's actually a state of mind. We're going to deconstruct exactly what that means, one idea at a time. So let's get started. Our source kicks things off with this really powerful statement. The whole argument is that the real problem isn't your salary or your boss or even the country you live in. No, it's the internal framework, that set of beliefs that can keep money flowing right out of your life, no matter how much you actually earn. So here's our roadmap. We'll start with the core concept, and then we're going to explore 5 key areas where a poverty mindset and a wealth mindset really go in opposite directions. Everything from how you see money to how you plan for your future. Okay, let's lay the foundation for this whole idea. According to the source material, all those external factors, they're secondary. The number one obstacle it points to is the internal mindset that's driving your financial behavior and ultimately your results. So what exactly is this poverty mindset? Well, think of it as a collection of beliefs and habits, a lot of them subconscious, that are all rooted in this deep fear of scarcity, of not having enough. And that fear ends up influencing every single decision, creating a cycle that can be incredibly tough to break, even if you start making more money. All right, let's get into our first big contrast. This one is all about the fundamental purpose of money. Is it just something to spend, or is it a tool you can use? Believe me, this distinction is absolutely crucial. You know, the difference here really boils down to one simple question. The poverty mindset hones in on the outflow, the cost. But the wealth mindset, it flips that around and focuses on the potential return, the value. It sees money not just as something to spend, but as a tool that should be working for you. So take a second and really think about that. When you're looking at something you want to buy, what's the very first thought that pops into your head? The answer can actually tell you a lot. And this leads us right into purchasing habits. See, one pattern is all about living on your future income. Using credit cards and loans to have things right now. The other way is living on what you have today. You wait, you save, or you find ways to earn more before you make that purchase. And this quote just captures the consequence so perfectly. Every time you use a loan to pay for today, you are literally borrowing from your future self. And that creates this cycle of debt that can feel like a trap you can never escape. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about money, now let's talk about people. Because how you view other people, their role in your life, and especially their successes, is another huge dividing line, according to our source material. Think about it. When something goes wrong, where does your focus go? The poverty mindset often defaults to a victim position. It's about finding someone or something else to blame. The wealth mindset, though, is all about agency. It's about immediately asking, okay, this happened. What's my next move? What can I do about it? Here's another moment for a quick gut check. What is your default reaction when you hit a roadblock? Do you look outward for a scapegoat, or do you look inward for a solution that you can actually control? Ooh, this is a big one. Seeing someone else succeed can trigger one of two very different responses. The first is envy, where you just write off their success to unfair advantages, luck, connections, whatever. The other response is curiosity, where you see their success as a blueprint, as a source of information you can actually learn from. And here's the crucial point about that. Envy doesn't do a thing to the person who's successful. It only poisons the person feeling it. It just closes you off from opportunities to learn and grow. It's totally self-destructive. Now for our fourth point, and this is about the most important asset you will ever have, you. The real difference here is whether you see self-improvement as just another expense or if you see it as a powerful investment. The fear of loss, man, it can be paralyzing. Holding on so tightly to what you have can make you miss out on huge opportunities to gain so much more. This is why some people call fear the most expensive emotion. The other view is realizing that standing still, stagnating, is actually the biggest risk of all. And this is where the whole idea of saving can become a trap. Avoiding spending on a class, a book, or even your own health might feel like you're saving money in the short term, but the wealth mindset gets that investing in your own skills, your knowledge, your well-being, that's what gives you the highest possible return in the long run. And hey, it doesn't have to be about money. It could be your time, your effort, your focus. Just think, what's one thing you've done recently with the clear goal of making yourself better for the future? And all of this leads us to our final and maybe most critical point, how we look at the future. Is it just something that happens to you, Or is it something you actively go out and build? There's just a huge gap between short-term survival and long-term strategy. I mean, living paycheck to paycheck means you're always reacting, just trying to make it through the week. Building a strategy means you're being proactive. You're making choices today that are designed to create the life you want 5 or even 10 years from now. So let's just quickly bring it all together. The major traps of this mindset are the fear that stops you from taking action, the debt that basically mortgages your future, the envy that poisons your own outlook, the blame that gives away all your power, and the saving that stops you from actually growing. And this really sums it all up. The argument is that as long as those patterns of thinking, blame, fear, and debt, are running the show, breaking the cycle is almost impossible. The change really has to start from the inside. And so, we end right where we started, with the central idea of this whole explainer. The argument is that the physical condition of being poor starts with the mental condition of the poverty mindset. So, the final question is all for you. After seeing all these contrasts, blame versus responsibility, envy versus curiosity, cost versus value, what's one small shift in your thinking that you can commit to making starting right now?